Hey guys, CryptoClarity here, and today I want to talk about ICOs and how I developed the quote-unquote method of filtering ICOs, finding the better ones and going over them. And including that topic, we will talk about ICOBench, which is a kind of a new site. It hasn't been around for long, and I have been looking for a site which actually summarizes and gives a good outlook on the upcoming and ongoing ICOs, and I haven't really found it until I found this site. So this seems quite a solid site. I haven't really used it for that long, but so far my experience is really good with it. So we will talk about in general, what do I look at when I invest in ICOs. In general, how do I filter the coins, the ICOs here on this site, how do I use the site, what to look out for the site at the site, and in general, the whole analysis of it. Some things to note: ICOs are really dangerous. First of all, what is an ICO? ICO is basically an initial coin offering, which means that new companies and new startups, quote unquote startups in the cryptocurrency space, make ICOs, and they are basically crowdfunding projects for the whole idea, for the whole company. So imagine like a Kickstarter bootstrapped on a blockchain. Kind of that's the idea. And these are the riskiest ways of investing, and I think that these have some potential really high ups and really high downs. And I think that probably 95% of the ICOs or around that will fail. So you have to know that when you invest, you have to invest, I think, in a large number of ICOs if you want to, to get the long run and get the long run of the investment. You have to invest in a huge number of ICOs and with as little capital as possible, so you have a huge diversity going for you. So this is the main idea regarding the ICOs. What else? Well, so how does this work? ICOBench, basically ICOs apply for a listing on the site, and this way the ICOs actually get listed. So I will show you. These are the current ongoing ICOs. You have some filters here. What do you want to see? Ongoing, active, upcoming, ended, or what kind of category do you want to see? This is kind of useful. What kind of coins do they accept and stuff. And the main factor which most of the people will look at first will be the rate. This is a number between, I think it's 1 and 5 or something like that. And basically this is very misleading, because this rate is actually just a combination of an algorithm looking at the ICO and the website and the sources available, and experts reviewing the actual ICO. And why I say that this is very misleading is that actually the algorithm, I'm gonna go find the first one, and I just picked that because it's the first one, so I have no idea why. So these are the reviewers at the ratings and what kind of points did they give at each category. And then there's the Benji and ICO analyzer bot, which only looks at the actual raw data which is available for the ICO. So for instance, in this place, the team, how many members there are, how many photos, how many full names, how many LinkedIn profiles, the ICO information, start date, end date, platform, bonuses. So how much information is available. It does not actually analyze the information itself, only the availability of the information. And this is why I mean that this is misleading, because the algorithm, the whole score is weighted very, very well only on this one. So what does that mean for you? Well, for instance, in this situation, 10 people analyzed it, and still the Benchy ICO analyzer bot was 55%, weighted 35% in the whole score. So that's a lot. And usually it's 80, because usually only one actual person analyzes an ICO. So what does that mean? That this score mainly represents most of the time only the marketing side of the ICO. How well it is marketed, how well it is put together, how well it is planned, and anything anything other than that is just speculation. Also, another important thing I think is that, like, who are the actual people who reviewed this? So I don't have my 100% trust into the people who are reviewing this, because I don't know them. I don't know what did they accomplish. Anyone can write anything here. Like venture capitalist, family man, snowboarder, Sydney boy. I don't know if these are good qualities for an ICO reviewer. And in general, I don't think that the people who review these kind of ICOs do an extensive enough job, have enough experience in the project, and in general, like, give a good idea or give a good objective opinion about the whole thing. So I think that nobody is qualified 100% here. That's my opinion. I don't know them. Maybe I'm wrong. Because actually you cannot really find people who are good at this, because this is completely new. How the hell are you gonna find the experts in a domain analyzing ICOs, which is analyzing ICOs, where the actual domain is completely new? And usually the ones which are not new, so the people who would be really good at analyzing ICOs are probably like millionaires already, and they don't really care about this kind of job. So that's what I mean. Be careful with the rating. That's the whole conclusion. Once again, be careful with the rating on with this number, because it's probably not as accurate as it would seem at first. I actually was like, okay, but maybe they just, if an ICO pays a lot of money, maybe he can manipulate the little scores here. And I tried it. So I pretended that I'm a company, and I contacted them, and I said that I will pay 10 bitcoins. At the time the bitcoin was like $8,000. I will pay 10 bitcoins if they score my ICO with a 4.0 or higher, because maybe they can like manipulate the algorithm or something. And this is the actual chat log which I got. So you can read it. You can pause the video and read it. Basically, we go back and forth, and then the main idea is that they did not let me do it. So they did not let me, pay them 10 bitcoins and give them, get the high score system just like that. And that's kind of cool, I think, because $80,000 is a lot of money, and I think that this company is not that big. So the fact that they valued the whole idea and valued the integrity of the site in such a way that $80,000 didn't even binge their like interest is kind of impressive. So that's kind of cool. What I did not trust is whether you can bribe the actual analysts. So what could happen is that any kind of token or any kind of like ICO bribes the actual persons, because you can see the names of the analyzers here. So they could like contact them personally and say like, hey, could you review my ICO? I will give you 1 Bitcoin if you give 555 for each of the ratings. And this way the ratings could be manipulated. So just keep that in mind. All in all, the most important thing I think is that the ratings do not mean that much. So don't get discouraged if rating is too low. Don't get too over the top if the rating is too high. And in general, it just shows the information available and the quality of the idea of some sort. So the yellow stars mean that they are sponsored, so they are always on the top of the list if the filter is applies to them. So that's the main idea, nothing more to say there. And so what I do is that each day I go in and I check whether or not I see any new coins, and I filter them to the start, which means that I see which one started today, and I just go over them one by one, and I just look at the idea, because I plan to invest actually in 200 ICOs, and I invest a very, very small amount of money in each of these, and 200 of the ones which grab my attention. This is like a 1 year long project, so nothing short. But in overall, I think that this is a very good idea, very good methodology, and I think it's profitable over the long run. And I'm kind of curious about the ICO space, so I want to like understand it more, and I want to like be in pictures, so that's why I do it too. And I go over it, and whichever seems interesting to me, I go on it. And when you go on it, you see a lot of information just at the beginning of the page. Like what is the actual idea, how would it work, what is the business model, anything what is relevant is here. And then there's like usually a promo video inside, which is like the whole description of the project in a video. And I usually watch that, and I look at the coin until I find something which I don't like about it. This could be like, maybe I don't think that the business model is worthwhile, I don't think that the idea is needed, I don't think that the blockchain is needed in the idea, I don't think that this is something what people would use, anything what kind of rules the project in my mind worthless makes me go to the next one. And I go on and I do this every day. It takes like probably like 1 hour to go over the new ones, because it's the first day of the month. You have like more ICOs than in general, but like this is a really good method, and I encourage you to do the same. Just go over them. If you want to invest, go into the white paper too and go over that too. And just, I think that this is a solid way to go over this whole ICO thing. And even though it's very risky, so I'm telling you again, only invest in very, very small portions of money, and only invest in money what you can afford 100% to lose, because this is the riskiest type of investment, I think, in the cryptocurrency market nowadays. Also, I think that the upside and the potential profits are higher than investing in other kind of coins nowadays, especially because at the date of talking, I think that the cryptocurrency markets are on a huge bull run, and probably the prices will be smaller at another point in time in the future. So yep, basically this is my idea. Also, another kind of annoying thing is that usually they have, many of the promising ICOs have like a minimum investment amount, which is like way higher than what I would expect. Like 1 ether, some people only want to see 1 ether, some people only want to see 5 ethers, some ICOs only want to see like 0.5 or 0.3, and I invest less than that into these coins. Usually, another interesting thing is that most of the projects are on Ether, so that means that Ethereum, sorry. So that means that Ethereum is thriving. I mean, I think that 80% of the projects are on Ether. And the other good thing about it is that you can actually get like an ERC20 token compatible wallet, and just go on that and participate in most of the promising ICOs, and you don't have to worry about having multiple wallets and like keeping coins everywhere. So basically this is what I wanted to talk about, and I hope this is useful for you. If it was, then you can press the like button, and if you would like to see more of these videos, then you can just subscribe to my channel and you will see more. So have a good one, and talk to you in my next video.